when we take different pills, and I like this little diagram here because I'll actually see people that take their supplements in their X-ray. Okay, when you see the X-rays, you'll actually see vitamins in people's stomachs. I said, "Looks like you took your vitamins today." Yeah, how'd you know that? I said, "There it is, right there. It's not broken down. It's going to be some. It's going to fortify something downstream from you, but it's not going to really break down with you." Okay, and so, and these enteric-coated capsules and pills have such a strong shellac around them that the body just doesn't break it down. And so, if it does break it down, it doesn't really absorb well into the tissues. We got to think what the goal is. The goal is to get the nutrition into the cells. Okay. And so, because of microbiota disruption, because of antibiotics that are in the food, and because of the hormones and all these things that disrupt the flora in our gut, inhibit all the absorption that needs to get into the cells. There are organisms, parasites, mold, fungal infections, bacteria, and viruses that now have a colonic dysbiosis that create a lack of absorption because they're taking nutrition away from you too. And so they're kind of robbing you of nutrition. So to bypass that whole system is really a goal that's a very, very good goal to really get it right into where it needs to go. And when your body is given the right nutrition and the right environment for healing, it's going to heal. If you cut a piece of steak, it's not going to heal. If you cut you, you're going to heal. And what the difference is life. If you're breathing, you can heal. I had an interesting phone call this morning. It was a consult that we get almost every day. We have consults that happen almost every day, but these folks have been suffering for 23 years with certain ailments, and they're still just kind of stuck in the mud. And at the end of the call, they were crying, and the reason why they were crying is they're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel because no one has really helped their body help heal itself. And that's really the key behind energy. We can help deliver tools that help the body help heal itself. That's really what that's really what healers do. That's what we do as a doctor. And the D for doctor stands for detective. We got to find out what's wrong. And then we got to say, okay, here are the tools that we can utilize to help optimize this person's ability to heal. And oftentimes it starts in the gut. People are eating the same 20 some odd foods. They become reactive to those foods that causes gut irritation, and that blocks absorption. Okay, so one of the things that I encourage people to do, if you have any health challenges, get a food sensitivity test done. The one I recommend is a KBMO food sensitivity test. It's a blood test, and you can look at that online, but it will help to identify your reactions to gut barrier issues. And if your gut is not right, it's a roadblock to healing. Okay. And it's a roadblock to absorption of nutrition. Whether it's these products or food in general, you got to make sure you're eating and you're getting this food in the way it's designed to be absorbed. When we have sublingual absorption, this is instantaneous. Literally, within seconds, the nutrition is into the cells. It is amazing how this works. It's amazing how fast people start a difference, and even what they're experiencing as far as their feelings. You can take blood pressure, take a nitric oxide test strip or a nitric oxide activator, and within seconds, your blood pressure is different. Why? How is that possible? It's through quantum. It's through quantum nutrition. That's what's exciting about energy. This is really the slide of the night. And I really appreciate this because I see this. I actually see this in my practice. When I see pills in people's stomachs, they're not absorbing. If you have a gel cap, it's going to be a little bit better absorbed. Some of the patches are even better absorbed and further and further. But if you want to get the best absorption, it's going to be our nutritional strips. These intraoral quantum nutrition strips are 90+% absorbed into the tissues. Amazing. This is where science and technology has brought nutrition to a whole new level. If you can get better absorption, you're going to get much better results, period. I don't care what the product is. And this company will have many products down the line. This technology is 2025 technology. This is not 30-year-old technology. This is brand new, off the shelf, wet ink print. I'm so happy about this. I knew someone would figure out a pathway to do this. And I'm so happy that NRG did this because as physicians, as healers, we're looking for the best way to affect the cells. When we affect the cells, specifically the mitochondria, game's on. Changes occur, miracles happen. We see them every day in the practice. I've been in practice for 35 years, and I've been asked many times, and I'm not trying to boast, I'm just saying this. It's just I've not found the science that I wanted to get behind because my reputation is everything. I'm not going to say, try this. No, take this and you're going to get this result. Everything that we do in the practice is science-based. There is no, let's just try this and see what, pin the tail on the dog. No, it is when there's a specific challenge, there are tools and science-backed information and technology and modalities and nutrition to tackle that issue. And when people do that, it's just like building a meal. You need all the ingredients, and all those ingredients are available. Well, nutrition's part of that, and absorption is the other half of that coin. You can have great nutrition, but no absorption. Okay, that's what it is. That's what's exciting about this. When we get nutrition in the cells, in the mitochondria are actually the powerhouse of the cell. There's going to be a actual noticeable feeling when that happens. There's going to be a perk in energy. There's going to be a significant clinical outcome that occurs. Now, recognize this. Why do some people feel a perk right away and some people maybe not? Just think about it this way. If your gas tank is on E, it's going to take a minute to fill that tank up. Okay? So just think about that. Now, if you're full already and now you give another high quality nutrition, then that's going to be some extra energy. Okay, so you're going to feel that. Obviously, somebody that has good energy is going to feel a little bit more energy because they're already kind of at full, they're already at capacity. But if your tank's been depleted for a while, and we actually can test that with the HRV equipment that we have in our office, where are you at on the grid? How bad is this problem? What's going to be the realistic time frame of recovery to get people on the road recovery? That's what people want. When they come into my practice, they say, what's wrong with me? Can you fix me or help me? How long is it going to take and how much is it going to cost? Okay. And so those are the questions that we as physicians have to answer. And if your doctor is not doing that, find somebody else. Find somebody else to team up with, not just to bang out disease, but to optimize your body's ability to heal. That's what we need to have. This intraoral system is the first of its kind to market. Others will copy. Yes, got it. Flattered, whatever. Here's the way that you can get nutrition in your body right now. This is breakthrough science that I'm proud to represent. This intraoral quantum delivery system is phenomenal. When you take these, there will be a predictable effect. Fantastic. It's real simple. Peel and put in your mouth. Within seconds, it's going to be in your bloodstream and it's going to be in your cells just a few seconds after that. which is so nice. You got about a gallon of this thing called blood that's flowing around your system. And it's going to get into those cells and into the tissue cells very, very, very quickly. As again, within seconds. And the yield is much, much, much higher with you're not wasting, you're not urinating this in the toilet, okay? Your cells are absorbing this like a sponge. Beautiful. The Phyto Maxx is one of my favorite products because it is a base food source for the planet. So when you look at the base nutrition, it's got everything. I mean, it's got literally everything. Everything that is forming from the smallest life form, which is those microplankton, all the way up to that there are over 20,000 species of microplankton on our planet, and these microplankton feed the smaller fish, bigger fish, all the way up from that. It is one of those things that when you want to really cover as many bases as possible, you see what happens is the trillion cells or so that we have in our body are constantly reproducing. They're constantly going and exchanging. Ones are dying off and recycling, and then the new ones say, okay, I need this, 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 and this. I need to pull from 27 different buckets of nutrition. But bucket 5 doesn't have anything in it, or bucket 12 doesn't have anything. Well, we're just going to do the best we can. And so the quality of the cells then suffer. The thing is that the quality of cells represent the quality of the organ, the quality of the system, the quality of the body. Period. And so if you can affect the cell integrity, it has to be made like a recipe, and the body knows what to do, but you got to give it the base material to do it. Phytoplankton does that. Phytoplankton is one of those base molecules, one of those base nutrients that covers so many different bases. When you take this, you are filling a lot of the core need for your body to replicate those cells. And one of the fastest things that helps to heal the body is power. This thing called ATP is the power unit, energy unit of the body. And when you energize the ATP, you will get more energy noticeably. This thing, when it's activated, and as we age, the efficiency of that mechanism is weakened. So for folks, I'm going to say out of warranty, okay, you know what I mean by that? Yeah, if you're over 35, you're kind of out of warranty. If you have a little extended warranty, maybe it's about 55, after 55, you are clearly out of warranty. So you better be doing some things, good things, if you want to continue to have a vibrant life. There's no problem with us getting to 120. There really isn't. Do you want to have a vibrant 120, or it's not the lifespan, it's the health span that you want. You want high energy to be able to do whatever you want to be able to do, play as hard as you want to be able to play, and have enough vitality to last your entire life. Our life is designed like a candle. It's not designed to flicker constantly. It's designed to be burning bright, one thing at the end and done. That's how we're designed to live. One of the greatest ways we can help do that is by affecting the ATP production from the mitochondria. Now, when we blend this with a product called nitric oxide, amazing, literally amazing. When nitric oxide is produced in the arterial wall, and as we age, that production starts declining as far as what we can measure. We can measure this, by the way, very simply with a nitric oxide activator strip. It's a very simple strip. It costs about $1. You can find them online. And it's one of those things that when we have restricted blood flow, there is going to be a predictable effect. Now, you can affect this nutritionally. You can also affect this with technology. Tonight, we're going to talk about the nutritional side of it. A lot of things you can do also synergistically, like one horse and two horses, in with this topic. But when you bring these nutrients together with good circulation, all of a sudden, miracles happen in a box. I love the combination of Phyto Maxx and Nitro Maxx together. They work synergistically amazing. Mayo Clinic says that every cardiovascular disease is associated with loss of nitric oxide. Now, 80% of us, 80% will pass from cardiovascular disease. Now, the other 20%, cancers and different things. But if you want to do something, no one thinks it's going to be them. I don't think it's going to be me. I don't know how many people are on the call right now, but you all don't think it's going to be you. I guarantee it. Okay. But 80%. So if the higher chance we know something's going to be happening, the more energy we need to be putting towards that. If you're having any family history of cardiovascular disease, any of it, if you have stress in your life, I don't know, anybody have any stress in your life? Probably yes. If you are exposed to modern water, okay, if you go to EWG here in the States, you go to a site, you can actually see the water quality in your area. I hope they have that there in Australia, but if they don't, they should. Okay, hopefully you can find that and see, or if not, then just get your water tested. Go and take the time because the water that's in our bodies reflects the water that we're consuming, and the quality of that chemicals or the bad chemicals that we shouldn't have are being absorbed through the water we're drinking and also the water we're bathing in. And so here in the States, I saw someone just recently came in with cancer, and we checked this. They had 1,000 times more arsenic in the groundwater that they were drinking than what was acceptable by the EPA as far as health guidelines. I said, do you have any figure out why maybe you're having this cancer challenge? How long have you lived there? 30 years. Do you have infiltration? No, we have a well. Do you have something that's filtering out that water? No, not really. We haven't thought about that. Well, you need to. Okay. Nitric oxide, amazing. Every cardiovascular disease is associated with loss of nitric oxide. This is the biggest diagnosis we have as human beings. Get yours tested. And there's a strip that does that. You can get that online. As we age, men and women both reduce the ability to produce nitric oxide. So once we're about 50, we really have a big drop off of this nitric oxide production. And some people genetically, this graph is a little bit further out, some it's a little bit further in. I saw a patient recently with Raynaud's disease. This is where there's discoloration in the fingertips. It almost looks like frostbite. This is where it can start happening in the teens. If your hands are cold, your feet are cold, chances are you've got loss of nitric oxide. Okay. Why would that be a case? Why would that be the case? Here's the capillary. This is the very end. Here's the end of the capillary right here. And here's the red blood cell. And when your nitric oxide's low, your arteries tighten, they stiffen, and the red blood cell can't get in. It's trying to get in. It can't get in. You got to relax those arteries, and then it can get in. And that's what then deposits this oxygen. That's what warms it up. We actually did thermal imaging with the nitric oxide activator before and after. Took a dose, did a thermal scan, and it showed amazing. Within 30 minutes, the body was warmer. Well, it's not that you need another blanket. It's that you've got low nitric oxide. When somebody says, oh, cold hands, oh, I got a warm heart. No, loss of nitric oxide. That's just loss of nitric oxide. If you love that person, test them. Okay, test their nitric oxide level. If they're depleted, give them the gift of life. Say, you know what? This is something that you need to know about. Read about it. When they work great together, as I stated earlier. When these are put together, there's increased circulation and increased absorption getting into the tissues, into the cells. Unfortunately, there is not only more chemical exposure that we're exposed to, but also the soil's been depleted. A pound of carrots back in 1940 had 80,000 international units of vitamin A. Now they got 6,000 international units of vitamin A. So the soil itself is being depleted. So we need good supplementation because of added stresses that we now have that we didn't have 40, 50 years ago. Um, uh, Heck, we didn't have it even 5 years ago. There's the amount of physiological stress with 5G is causing a lot of DNA irritation to a lot of people, causing more mutations, more fertility issues. There's just a lot going on. So not only you need good nutrition, but you also need a good detoxification program that you're routinely on a regular basis. We're doing a promotion right now, and both of these packs are for less than $100. It's one of those things that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's true. When you take something that is so effective, and if you combine the two of them, this is a powerful dynamic duo. And the benefits that you'll experience are tremendous. The more that you search on nitric oxide, the more that you can look at Dr. Louis Ignaro's Nobel Prize winning science that won the Nobel Prize back in 1998, no more heart disease, how to prevent and even reverse heart attacks and strokes. When you look at phytoplankton, how amazing that microorganism is, it's just so beneficial to us as human beings that everyone should be taking this, especially if you're testing low on nitric oxide.